and welcome back to Empower and Protect. I'm your host Melania Tora, and today we are joined by Temesia Tuicaumia, who is a lot of things. He's everything. But today we have him on as a guest, as an educator and also an advocate for women's rights and also women's space in politics. So he's really across the board, but we just want to pick his brain on some things about empowering women and youth. So welcome, Temesia.
I was going to say welcome back to you.
Because he's a host as well, guys.
Thank you so much for having me, Melania.
Thank you for coming.
I think it's just like we're doing it on the week of so many things, right? Like hibiscus is going on. Pacific Human Rights Festival is going on as well. So yeah, it's exciting. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Everyone probably already knows who you are, but for those people who are living under a rock for some reason, can you please introduce yourself?
I would want to be there sometimes, right?
Yeah, right.
Live on the rock.
Honestly.
Well, you know, like Melania said, my name is Temesia Tuicaumia. I come from my village, Makandru in Matuku in Laos. And my mom is from Naroi Moala in Laos as well. I grew up in Suva. I grew up as an only child. And where do I go with this? Left Fiji to study. Loved something about Fiji that I wanted to come and be a part of developing our nation and seeing new leaders rise. And so I returned back to step into education. And then I loved music, I loved fashion, and then kind of dabbled into that. And then because of my space and my work in community, I used the influence that I had through fashion to bring changes to spaces like the Better Than This campaign that we're pushing right now. And it's not to say that we want a woman right now in government, but it's just to say like, hey guys, would it be cool if we had more women in parliament? These women nurture babies. They nurture the next generation. Who could not say they could be sitting across us right now, making decisions for so many children in our nation?
Yeah, thank you. And I love that we have so many women to pull from. Like the pool of educated, amazing women is so vast. So giving them that opportunity in politics is something that is an amazing initiative. We'll talk a little bit about that later, but I want to really focus on your role as an educator.
Yes.
Please talk to us about how you got started in education. I know you have a school. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so coming back home, I really wanted to start a community school. I would say private school, but I don't like using the word private because everyone hears private and say, oh, money. No, that's not the point. But, you know, I wanted to start a community-based school that focused a lot on traditional ecological knowledge because there's one thing that really pushed me to the reason I came back home was that, I don't know if you feel this, Melania, but there's a sense that people think, I need to get out of Fiji.
To do something.
Or to get something. Or it's out there. But it's right here in our backyard.
So
it's right here at home. And so, you know, it blows my mind that people think they need to get out of Fiji. And so it's really just educating the next generation here that you could be anything you want to be right here at home. You could go get your education 100%, but there's no place like at home, you know, and we're going through a transition in our nation where Western culture is really influencing, you know, the way children see things, whether it's on social media, whether it's conversations they have daily or TV shows that they watch. And so bringing in traditional ecological knowledge, see, I grew up in a very interesting way. I think you and I can relate more on that, right? We grew up private school setting, then we had our Fijian family, then we had our Kailoma friends, then we had our expat friends. So we were code switching, right? We were like, okay, code switch, okay, code switch. And so during those code switches, you know, I noticed that a lot of people were losing out on things that, you know, they could benefit from. And so I really wanted to open up a school where I could do case studies, observe our children in Fiji and see, hey, they're missing out on digital literacy. They need to learn this. That's why we have so many cyberbullying going on. So writing a curriculum for children in that. Hey, there's not enough talk about sex education. You know, it's a big taboo in our nation. How do we talk about it and not have to rise like a huge challenge around the word sex, you know, and so we're like, oh, I know it's damaging because we've grown up thinking, don't talk about it, don't talk about it. But we need to talk about it, but we need to talk about it in a safe way. So writing a curriculum for that. And so I could go on and on, you know, Melania and I can talk about this.
Definitely.
But, you know, there's just a lot of things that I just feel really passionate about that I think if they only knew, there could have been so much change in our nation, you know? And so I feel hurt when I open up the newspapers or I go online and you hear this news and you're like, if only they had a TV show like this where they could be like, wow, I want to do that when I grow up, you know? And so we need to create spaces like this. Oh, it's getting me emotional.
I love that. I totally get what you mean. And I love your passion for it.
Thank you.
I want to talk about, like you said, you do case studies on the children that you see, the Fijian children. And I know that even outside of your school, you're involved with so many youth. Can you talk to us about the educator's role in empowering our young people? Because I think a huge part of our women not being a part of the political space is that they're not nurtured to.
They're not nurtured.
While they're in school.
I mean, you would probably have first-hand experience as well.
Course,
you know, being in that spotlight, you need that. You need that covering, right?
Yes.
And you're very blessed to have been educated, had your mom, had your grandmother, had your community, had your church. All these people play such a crucial role, right? First of all, to all the moms and dads out there and to all the family members, you play a huge role, okay?
True.
Melanie is so correct that the educators play such a strong role. But when we're talking about it starts with mom and dad, it starts at home, it starts in our communities. We're not saying go and teach the children math or English. Teach them values, please. Sit with them. Talk about spatial awareness. No touching here. Talk about how to say thank you, say please. All this starts at home and it really starts with you. And our educators, you play such a stronger role in making sure that whatever's being taught at home, that you create an environment that's safe for them, that everyone's values and opinions are valued in the room. Whether they're Muslim, whether they're Christian, whether they're Rotuman, whether they're Indo-Fijian, 4th generation in Fiji. Value each space, but educate them together.
Wow, I love that. Just creating that space for expression and truly being themselves.
That's it.
Thank you so much, Temesia.
Minaka.
We will be back after a short break here on Empower and Protect. Minaka. Welcome back to Empower and Protect. We're here with Temesia, and in this segment I really want to pick your brain, Temesia, about our online safety. I mean, now we're in the week of hibiscus. I'm sure you can see our space is kind of crazy again. Talk to us about how you're nurturing young people and what you suggest we should do to empower young people to really use it responsibly, our online space.
100%. Yeah, I mean, social media is a privilege. You know, what an honor it is to have a space where you can speak and so many people are influenced by it. And you know, there's a specific quote, or no, I think it's in the Bible as well, where it talks about words have power. They can bring life or death, right? And so I think we're struggling as Fijians and Pacific Islanders on how do we bring our culture onto platforms like this, you know, because we're such communal people. You know, like if they go, hey, you know, Melania who? Oh, Tora. Oh, a Tora family from, you know, the connection literally lays out. But having online spaces, this Gen Z community, and really those that are older than us are the ones that are attacking. Calling you out now.
Let's be real.
Let's be real. It's my auntie down the road. But, you know, they're having their names up because they're not physically in the room. They don't feel like they're being represented.
Right.
But when you're online, it's like it's a virtual world of you being represented. And so I'm struggling to find a way and doing a case study on how do we educate people that the same way you would walk into a room here and say, no, we can't walk in the front, it's rude. Let's walk around, or, you know, davatilo, you know, all these things. All these things need to happen online. And we're struggling because it's such a Western space, Facebook, TikTok, social media. So we're again challenged with that Western mindset and our traditional ecological knowledge, and how do we bring that together? And having a digital literacy curriculum is so key for our children here in Fiji, because we're not taught this at home.
Definitely.
You know, I have a student at my school who has over 11,000 followers on Instagram.
Wow.
She's only 15, 16.
Wow.
You know, her mom and dad don't have that much following, but how are they going to educate them? So we need to have services, providers already available for these children. And so I love saying this, and it's media. Media is our friend when we're advocating. You know, we need to involve media in everything we do, because they're the key people that connect our societies to advocates that are pushing certain advocacy projects. And then so we're coming up with things like the Better Than This campaign that you know that you've been a part of.
Nice segue.
And, right? And you know, having the Better Than This campaign, it's been really cool to hear what women are saying. And did you know that I spoke to a lady who works with the National Federation Party. I spoke to a lady that works close with that party, and she said that the issue is that there's no women that want to sit in parliament. The issue is that we have so many, that they have data that shows that there's a high number of well-educated women, like you said, graduating from our universities here in Fiji, sitting in positions as CEOs, executive staff in private sector, public sector. They don't want to go into that space.
Right, of course,
because of what we are seeing already, like with hibiscus this week. Women being exploited on social media, being made fun of for the word Fiji, saying, oh, she said Fiji, she's slanging, she's, you know, all these opinions. And then so we really need to start from scratch. You know, our children today, as young as our early childhood, we need to invest in the children today. If we start there, imagine Fiji in the next 50 years. You know, and this Better Than This Fiji campaign is not just connected to, we want to see 10 women next year during elections there. No, this is connected to the 2050 Blue Pacific strategy that's been put out by the Pacific Island Forum. This is a plan that's been undergoing with the Sustainable Development Goals with the United Nations. It's all interconnected. And so I think as a nation as small as Fiji, we struggle with connecting the dot and seeing that. And that's why the ripple effect plays such a strong role. You know, if from seeing you being a part of Hibiscus last year to where we're sitting today, only, you know, a year, it blows my mind. Imagine if this opportunity was available for every young girl.
Exactly. Wow. Wow.
I know.
Amazing.
Like, oh,
so good.
Imagine.
You know, what stuck in my mind from what you said is that girl in your school who has 11,000 followers. And it's honestly kind of scary to me, because even at this age, I struggle to come to terms with the online space and just how people say things so freely. Talk to us about the my gosh. Talk to us about the importance of really educating our children on being safe online, because there's so many predators. And talk to us as well about your opinion on when children or when kids should join social media.
Can I just say I love what Australia is doing?
Oh, really?
Like they've literally banned social media platforms from children 16 below. Amazing. The children's rights, the CRC, Children's Rights Convention Rights of a Child, states that children is 0 to 18. So why do they need to be online if it's an adult platform? Why do they need to be online? Like, what's the reason? My school has technology introduced at class 6 to them. The reason why is because we need to prepare them for the workforce. We need to prepare them for the 21st century, what it's going to look like. And so in doing that, we're also educating them how to using these platforms. I had a group of young girls who love TikTok, right? Every dance move on TikTok, you know, these girls know it. Anyways, they were about to get into the spaces of writing to colleges, writing to universities, what's it going to look like for them. And then I said, Google your name right now and see what pops up. And guess what popped up? Their TikTok dance. And she was like, ew, no.
Digital footprint is real.
Digital footprint, you know? And so people are not aware that when you do make bad choices online, it doesn't just affect you online, it affects you across the board. And that's the ripple effect we're talking about. So if you think you're going to go get a job that requires, you know, certain etiquettes in that career, of course I'm going to go and be like, let me just Google Chone Loloma, you know, and like Chone's video pops up or something. They're not going to hire you, you know. And so it's so important, it's so crucial that we're teaching these children about fake news as well, how to respond. I think my best thing so far being online is just ignoring, like why
they
have to delete, you know, delete comment. Like,
thank you.
Just delete it. Like, I don't have the energy for this, you know.
That's so true.
And so it's so important.
Yeah, thank you so much, Temesia.
Thank you.
I know we can both see the signal. So we will be right back after a quick break here on Empower and Protect. Welcome back to Empower and Protect. We're here with Temesia and we're just going to jump straight into it. So Temesia, I know you do a lot of work advocating for women in politics.
Yes.
I want to ask you, because you've also been involved in the community, what's the attitude like towards women trying to take that step, and how can we change? Where's the gap?
I think the gap really falls here, again, educating the public. A lot of our men in the community, there's also a push where they're like, the men, the perpetrators. But we've come to know that it's a lot of these women attacking women.
Wow.
So it's also educating that sisterhood within these communities. And so we've started initiatives like working with boys to really educate boys on how they should be looking after our girls, you know. And again, with our boys, we're trying to not look at them as perpetrators, but looking at them as allies for these women. That when you're sitting in a room, that you represent a woman that, you know, is your mother, a woman that's your auntie, your grandmother. There's so many women that you can name that have been that have affected your life, that have made you who you are today. And so it's educating men that they are the allies for our women, and then also educating women on having your girlfriend's back in situations. And so there's also a quote where it says, you know, if your friend has your name in the room, when you're in it, they will also have your name when you're not in the room. You know. And so those types of things plays a strong role. I mean, I've been in situations where you're like, but what do you mean they wouldn't let me be a part of it? Like, I don't know, they just said that, you know. And you're like, why did you speak for me? Like, you know, the situations. And so the Better Than This campaign is really an opportunity where we're showing that it's not that we want 50% women, 50% men, but we just want women there because they play such a strong role in our communities. We can go through our traditional family settings. The men are nowhere to be seen, right? When they're babies and they're like, okay, I'll wait for you to start crawling, then I'm going to carry you, you know? And then, I'm not talking about all men, but, you know, there's just a majority of men out there. But, you know, having spaces where we can talk about these, where we say, look, these women, they go through so many transitions that a lot of our men don't understand. You know, they go from girlfriends to wives, wives to moms, mothers to grandmothers, back to their job. So they're carrying all these roles. You know, they're having to play superwoman in that situation. For a man, you kind of just like, hey, you know, have a girlfriend, then you get married, you have a child. Your role just changes as boyfriend, husband, father, grandfather, and CEO, or whatever position you may have at work. But for women, it's a holistic thing, you know,
it has
from having
with your body.
with their bodies.
Wow.
And so my good friend Jody Abraham Asim, she talks about perimenopause, about the body changing, hormones. That's a lot for women to go through. And so having a woman representative in our government is so crucial, because she's lived the experience of a woman.
And she represents all the women.
And having her voice in there she will be able to communicate to ministers in health on what is needed to prioritize our young women in Fiji. We can talk about domestic violence. We can talk about gender-based violence. There's so many areas to cover. And even in regional spaces and international spaces, it's coming back down to moms and children. That these two components, we seem to be like, they got it. You know, they got it. My mom grew up with 14 siblings. My grandmother would go fishing in the middle of the night and return. She goes out at like 11 p.m. at night. She returns at like 4, 5, 6 in the morning. She's making bambakau, prepping for my grandfather. You know, she's had 14 children.
I feel that frustration.
You know,
I so do.
It's amazing what our women go through.
Yeah.
And so I know men can speak for these women.
Yeah.
But it'd be so cool to see women in spaces like this where they can speak for the many women that go through so many things in our nation.
Definitely.
And so the Better Than This campaign, again, it's not saying that we want to see 5 women next year in government.
Right.
It's just saying that, hey, women too can be leaders.
Yeah.
She can lead. Yeah.
Definitely.
If she can, another small girl can know, hey, if a girl with a buninga can do it, I can do it. Hey, if an Indo-Fijian woman can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
Representation is key. And it's so
good.
important in our
Thank
nation.
you so much, Temesia. I love your heart for
thank
women,
you.
and I love that it comes from lived experience of seeing such powerful women and how they carry themselves and wanting to make other women feel like they can do the same and also just be in that space. There was we've spoken to 2 disability advocates a few weeks ago, and they have this quote that there is nothing for us without us.
Whoa.
Which, isn't that powerful?
That's powerful.
Which is like, if I'm not there actually dictating what I need, then you guys won't be able to tell me what I need because I've lived it.
That's the word,
So,
dictatorship, right?
Oh, there you go. That's for another episode.
That's
Let's
for
leave
a
it
whole
there.
other season.
Yeah, but thank you so much, Temesia,
Thank
for
you, Melania.
allowing us to hear your heart and really pushing that representation because it does matter.
It does.
And I really want to just, come around you and your work because you do so many amazing things. You're
Thank
involved
you.
in so much. Can you talk to us about what's next for you? What are the next initiatives that we can look forward to?
We're really excited to. I'm working with my cousin Mary. Mary Nalatikau is a strong climate change activist in our nation, amongst many other things, like Melania here. But it's the thought of we have one life. If we have all these platforms, we're going to use it to bring change in a positive way across our nation. And so we're looking at the next elections and how we can push our youth to vote. If you don't know, our 18-year-olds next year hold that 50%.
Come on.
So if you're a youth out there and you don't feel heard, I know you still live with mom and dad and you're like, I can't even buy my own deodorant. It doesn't matter. What matters is that your opinions are heard and you're being listened to, right? And in diplomacy, we're always taught that you need to listen 70% and you talk 30%. So our job in this space of advocacy is that we want to see youth step out in the next couple of months to rally around each other and to have conversations that will make an effect for them and the next generation.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much,
Vinaka.
Temesia. If you guys are on Instagram, you please follow the Better Than This page.
Yes,
it's
please.
betterthan.this.fj.
Yes.
And just get alongside the vision. We need more women representation,
Yes.
and it's such an important thing. We all need to be around to support
Yes.
it. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Empower and Protect with Temesia. We'll see you next week. Vinaka.